And hello, welcome to Uptown Tonight. We are coming to you from the future to the past. Just because we have to do some recording, I got a little issue going on tonight. I'm working with the Morat High's drum line. I know I've talked about that many times on this podcast before, but they got a performance coming up here in a couple days, and I just figured I probably should be at the rehearsal and just make Jaeden Alverson. Thank you for being on. Show up a little bit early and just bring us some record live early, and then we'll just let you guys figure it out from there. He's already got a like, so thank you out there who's ever doing that. So please like, subscribe, do all that other fun stuff, share it, do everything you can. Because this is the Uptown Tonight Podcast, where we do believe that a rising tide does raise all ships, and we are here trying to help raise that tide by basically showcasing all the area's entertainers and entertainment that we can possibly do in the Fargo-Moorhead area. I am your host, Mr. Wayne Stollenfacher, or Discount Tom Cruise, or Tom Brady. I've been called the Apple Guy. I've been called Steve Wozniak once. You know who Steve Wozniak is? Jaeden?
Name sounds familiar, but I can't say it.
He is one of the basically a what am I trying to think of here? Well, not producer, but basically it was him and Steve Jobs that built Apple computers.
Okay.
He was the one who was actually the brains behind all the computing stuff and everything. I look nothing like that guy. Not even close. So I don't know where that one came from, but that's what we got here. So thank you for being on, Jaeden.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Man, this is going to be a good one. Another Walking Phoenix is in the house. And, man, I still got to get out and see you guys. I'll be the first one to say that because I'm such a recluse now, just getting old, and I keep saying I need to get back out there. And then that couch upstairs hits me, and, game, set, match. It's usually what happens. But no, we'll get to Jaeden here in just a moment. I got to talk about myself here just for a moment. So, of course, we got Cito sitting there hanging on to Junior. Junior helps all our Uptown merch. So, next time we were playing in Fargo is tomorrow at the Windbreak. So, if you want somewhere in the area, you want to help us out and keep us on the road and everything else, come by the stage and purchase some Uptown t-shirts. And, I'll be very, very helpful with that. And say hi to Junior. And then there's Zevers. You heard Zevers, but you haven't seen him yet. He definitely doesn't look like that anymore. Neither does that couch, but Zevers does say that we need to support our troops. I am a little bit biased since my son is in the military getting on his third year. He's in South Korea right now. But basically, got to support our troops out there, and Zevers says so. And last weekend, we were at Proves Cove up in Devil's Lake in the Tiki Bar, I believe that was what they called it. And it's an outdoor place. It looks fairly new. And it looks like there's a roof there. There is not. No roof. It was completely outdoors. You had the nice overhead or hanging. How would you say that? Those rolling doors that look like garage doors. All over the place out there. Now it was a lot of fun. Class of 2013 was on Saturday, and I think it was 97 on Friday. So got to hang out, do a bunch of music and all that, and it was a good time. And I also got to pick up a lot of garage sailing stuff too, which I'll have to show Jade my little score on the way out. I don't want to post this one on the interwebs, but I don't know. I surprised myself with this one. I'll just say that. And it's beautiful, but and I'm keeping it. So, let's get to Jaeden here. Jaeden, how you doing, man?
Not too bad. I'm hanging in there.
Hanging in there. So, Walking Phoenix, how long you been with them?
Oh, goodness. We started in, I want to say, March of 2020. So it's been about 3 years,
okay.
3.5 years now.
I always thought it was longer than that because I've seen the name for so long. But
it
I think you guys
longer.
are just good at advertising. That's probably what it is.
We just spam people. No,
That's okay. That's what I do.
But no, it's been 3 years, 3.5 years. We started like right before COVID, so I mean that's a great time to start a band and try and get yourself out there. But
so how did you make that work through the COVID thing then? Did you guys just not care about the whole 6 feet thing? And I know I really didn't when we were doing rehearsals during that. But
I mean, so like I said, we started right before COVID, so COVID wasn't a thing.
And then it was.
and then it was. I think what was nice about like our band is that we were just forming, so like we didn't really have to worry about like losing all this momentum that we were doing. We were still like trying to figure out who we were as a band, anyways.
Gotcha.
So I mean, we were kind of in the writing process, so we were sending clips and stuff to each other and whatnot. Like here's a a vocal line or a bass part or a drum part, and that's kind of how we were able to maintain that creativity and still meet with each other. And then when things started to get a little more lax and we could still be within like the same room, we started to get in like a garage, make sure we were all like spaced out and whatnot. I mean, we tried to follow guidelines, but we also definitely like stretched it. But we also were all pretty isolated in our own lives as well, so it wasn't like we're out partying and then with other people and meeting each other and whatnot. So
yeah, I gotcha. I don't know. I just remember when COVID hit, our band the band I'm in now got a whole lot of work just because people got COVID.
Yep.
Then they had to take their 2 weeks and whatever else, and for some reason nobody in our band really got it. I don't think anyone did. I might be just making that up, but it was a good time. At least good time for that. At least getting the gigs and everything else. But
yep.
No, so that's good. So it gave you a lot of good time to write and everything else.
Oh,
so
yeah.
what's your part of Walking Phoenix?
Yeah, Evan and I definitely. So Evan is our lead guitar. We started the band. We were the ones who kind of initiated it. We have been friends since high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those of us out there, what do you play?
I play rhythm and I sing.
Rhythm and sing. Yep. So lead singer and rhythm.
Rhythm guitar.
Nice.
A little bit of bass if I need to, but I avoid it. No,
nothing against your bass players.
Oh my goodness! And
if you could find one.
I think that's probably the reason is because Tor is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I'm like I'm like a roots guy. So like me playing roots, and then you hear Tor play a song later. It makes me look awful, which is fine. All credit to him, but no, I kind of stick with my words and my chords, and that's really what I bring is like. At least for the first album, for sure. Like I was kind of the instigator and like, hey, here's the words and the melody, and these are the chords that I want to go to it. And then being the one, I'm the only non-music educated in the band, so like I can't read music. I don't know theory. I don't know. So, yet I surrounded myself with people who are much better than I am. So like Evan and Tor both went to school for some sort of performance or teaching, and then Dan's entire family is absolutely ridiculous when it comes to any sort of like musical instrument producing, recording, anything like that. He's absolutely incredible.
Well, see, you're just being the smart guy then. That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
I think it's the opposite. I think I suck just enough that like that like there's times when people who know a lot about music, it gets a little overcomplicated, and I'm like, guys, if you're losing me and I'm in the band, like we should probably tone it back. So yeah, it's kind of my point. I'm like, let's reel it in, make it a little more tangible for.
Well, that's probably good, especially for like just basic public consumption.
Oh yeah.
If it gets a little bit too out there, yeah, I can understand that because I have a lot of fun when it gets a little bit too much out there, but I know no one else is really enjoying it. Right. So, I quite get that. But let's get to where you came from. Where are you from, Jaeden?
I was born in Fargo. I went to 12 schools growing up, though. So.
All right, this guy's got a story. Let's
nothing crazy.
Rock on into this. Nothing crazy, but born in Fargo. Then we're 12 schools.
Yeah,
that's every grade.
Pretty much.
Unless you're talking about college too.
No.
Oh God. All right, here we go. Strap in, everyone.
Yeah.
Where are we starting at?
I mean, I was born in Fargo. I went to kindergarten and first grade in Sioux Falls. Second grade.
When'd you move to Sioux Falls then?
Oh, goodness. Sometime before kindergarten.
Okay.
I think it was like my kindergarten year. We moved there, like right before school started.
All right. Is this job related with your parents, or?
My dad was in retail and he was in management, so like he was constantly taking over new stores and kind of helping revitalize.
Gotcha.
So he was the manager of Gordman's out there.
Oh, okay.
And then he moved to the Fargo Gordman's, and when I was in second grade and third grade. But third grade, I was in half South Fargo, half North Fargo, for everybody who's from Fargo.
Gotcha.
And then fourth grade, we moved back to Sioux Falls. I don't know why.
Okay.
Fifth grade, I was in Colorado for 2 weeks. And then we moved. And then we moved
It's
to
crazy how people's stories are.
gosh, and then we moved to, oh yeah, that was 2 weeks, I think. And then we moved back to Fargo. And then 6th grade, I was half of the time I was in Colorado, half the time I was in Bismarck. And 7th
That's
grade,
quite a leap. You're gonna have to explain this one. We'll let you get through the schools
yeah,
first.
yeah. And then I mean it was West Fargo, and then I went to Moorhead, and then I spent spent the last 3 years of high school in West Fargo though. So
Okay.
yeah, that was like my longest stint, I think.
Well, let's revert back. Okay, Colorado to Bismarck.
Yeah.
Is it something you can explain, or is it just how it worked out?
So I have family everywhere. I mean, we moved out to Colorado because that's where we wanted to be.
Okay, Colorado where?
When I was in 5th grade, we lived in yeah, it was 5th grade. Yeah, I lived in Superior.
Okay.
It was like I don't want to say about 15, 20 minutes outside of north of Denver.
Okay.
Kind of like Boulder area, and then yeah, we had family. We actually lived like 3 houses down from my grandma.
Oh,
But
nice.
what was kind of funny is we lived with them for like, I would say probably a couple months during the summer. And then like 2 weeks in, my dad got another job opportunity back in Fargo. So we moved to Fargo and I went to McKinley up north. And that was until Christmas. And then Christmas, he got another job opportunity back in Superior. So we moved back to Superior.
So
and
they were
moved-
fighting for him, basically.
kind of. And then, yeah, after our
Kudos
Christmas
to your father
break.
right there. Right?
after Christmas break, we moved back, and then my grandpa owned it's like an inspection company in the oil fields,
Oh, okay.
based out of Bismarck. So we moved back to Bismarck in the summer, so because my dad took a job to help him kind of. I believe he was starting to now he owns it. So like I think he was like
okay.
starting to like
Just
work his way in and learn the business a little bit. And yeah, so we moved back to Bismarck until Christmas. And then we moved.
this Christmas thing keeps coming
Yeah.
up.
And then and that was like when we moved. If we were going to move halfway through a year, it was Christmas break.
Oh, really?
Yep. I don't know
Wow.
why. It was strategic at least. And
That
then
makes some really, I wouldn't say awkward Christmases, but, well, I suppose you get used to it after a while.
yeah, honestly, like the first few, you're like, oh, and then you're like, oh, this is cool. We're going someplace else. You become very adaptable at that point, I think.
I was about to ask you all that. Just moving from place to place, and you'd have to meet new people constantly.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
I mean, so there's three of us kids, that are like my parents. My parents are divorced now, which is why we moved back to Colorado. So when we moved back to Bismarck, we did my parents did split, and then we lived in Colorado with my mom for another like half year, and then ended up moving back to Fargo which is where we're from. Just kind of hung out in the Fargo Moorhead area after that. So, but yeah, no, it makes you very adaptable. As like siblings, we're very, very close. We're like best friends,
Nice.
which is not what a lot of siblings I think can say. But when you are
Nope.
when you are moving like that, it's like that's kind of what you
Sorry.
got. So, but no, you meet some cool people, and what I kind of realized, like living in all these different areas and towns and cities, is like you meet people that remind you of other people. And it's really, really intriguing. You're like, I met somebody almost identical to you,
Yes.
but like 1,000 miles away in a different area that grew up way differently, but they're like the same person. And I've always found that really, really
That
intriguing.
is interesting. Yeah, exactly.
But no, it's definitely cool. You see a lot. You kind of uproot a lot, but I would say I try not to like dwell on that part of it. It was cool though, getting to see and experience like the places I have been though, which was pretty cool.
Oh, I bet.
So
I
yeah.
bet. But we're going to go back, and what got you into music in the first place? Moving around all these places, obviously, I mean, you're not going to have that one, or I shouldn't say you won't have that permanent type of person that's going to be there to help you out with all that all the way, unless your parents, or do you have a musical family?
I have a vocal family, so like
Okay.
we're all vocalists. No one plays instruments, which is kind of funny. My mom started probably giving me lessons. I want to say I was about 4.
Vocal lessons at
Yep.
4?
I was about 4 or 5.
Wow.
Just because like it was something I always wanted to do. Like always trying to like sing and do the stuff. And then it got to the point where it's like, it's not going away. So she kind of started to like coach me, obviously very gently. When you're young, you're like, hey,
Yeah.
you should try and push through your stomach instead of your nose. I think it was probably because I was probably awful, and
Well,
she's
that's
probably
what
just
my problem is.
I was probably like just honestly probably pretty annoying. She's just like, let's get you to like not sound terrible, which is my thought process behind it. Like, push through your stomach so you're not so whiny. It was like, but I mean, yeah, she started very, very, very gently when I was younger, and I just never wanted to stop. So I kept asking for more, and then, getting into different sorts of music and trying to like experiment with different vocal styles. She kind of pushed me into like which is funny because I'm in a rock band now, but a lot of like John Legend, Neo, and it was literally just straight for like vocal control.
Oh.
And like she had me almost kind of study like, like early 2000s hip hop, R&B, pop music, just for vocal control and figuring out like your runs and your breath control and all that kind of stuff. And I was raised though on like grunge, which is what's funny.
See, and this guy talks about how he's not musically trained.
Just vocally. That's about it.
Dude, trust me, that was the thing when I went to college. I'd always just, not to say despised being in choir or having to sing in a crowd or whatever else. Is just something that I just didn't feel like I needed to do.
That's fair.
And then we got to college, and that was basically 50% of what you did. And oh wow, playing catch up. We'll just say that. Still am.
I honestly, I think I got a guitar when I was like probably 6 or 7.
What?
I was not
nice.
I was not good though,
It doesn't matter.
and I didn't care about
You're
it.
6 or 7, yeah.
Yeah, no, and I think that was the thing too. Though, was like I really only started to play guitar as a necessity when I got into high school, because it's like you can't just go sing at a gig by yourself. Like I mean, you can sing a cappella, but like it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I would think so.
I mean,
some kind of prop at least. Yeah.
It's
Maybe
kind
an
of
Elmo doll or something.
right. I don't know. Hold my blankie or something. Like I don't know. It's kind of awkward. So I definitely I still had my guitar, and then I got like a little. It was like a Fender Starcaster, but it was like the cheap Strat version. I had that and a little like amp. I never really played it. It wasn't until I think it was my 14th birthday I got an Epiphone Les Paul.
Oh wow!
I was like okay, like this is cool now. It sounds okay. I was like, I started to
ear of a
right.
14-year-old. Yes.
Like I started to string together chords at least, and I was like, okay, at least I can write songs and stuff. And that was kind of where my in-depth songwriting came in. But I had started writing my own songs when I was about 6, and they weren't good, but they were.
I've heard this before through other people talking about how they started writing songs way, way early.
Oh yeah.
I just find that fascinating because, really, what would be your motivation in the first place, other than just maybe boredom? But are you just sitting there thinking and just like, what? I can write a song about my teddy bear? I have no idea.
I have almost all of them still.
Do you?
They're like in composition books. And
Dude!
Yeah, I have almost.
Wow.
I should say I have at least like 5 or 6 full songs written. And I thought about it. I was like, we should just record them. See what they sound like now. Probably awful, but they're very old school 2000s hip hop pop Justin Bieber-ish, and it's not.
Doesn't matter. You're writing. Seriously.
I mean, it's the process, which is I think that has very, very much so followed me into what I do now. I enjoy the words, I enjoy the melodies more than writing guitar parts and writing bass parts. But if I hear it, I'll let the guys know, be like, hey, this is kind of what I'm feeling, like a bass part, and I'll kind of either show Tor or be like, this is kind of what I'm feeling. I'll make it better. But when it comes to
That's why you surround yourself with better people. Yes,
it's true. It's so true, and it works. We have a really good band dynamic where it's if I bring something, I'm like, hey, tell me if something's off though, or if you don't feel it's right. We're all just very, very open about it.
Very cool.
I've actually written out of sight. I actually wrote Tor's bass line, but they write my chords almost all the time. So I'm just kind of giving something back to them a little bit. But yeah, no, the words is I like storytelling, and I think a big part of that is from moving around. I think it's like,
I bet, yeah.
you know, there's a lot that I can say about like myself and where I'm from, but it's almost more intriguing to me is to find like somebody else's story and something else that somebody else has gone through and putting it in my own words and how I would have felt or how I think it would have felt, or like news articles or anything like that. I just find that was fun.
And you say, at least before we start, that you were the quiet one of the band.
I am. That's why I write it all down.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. But what inspired you to write songs at such an early age? Really?
Love. Almost every song was about love.
Okay.
And in some, obviously like in a very innocent capacity, but like it was like very radio driven words I have heard before, melodies that you can kind of, you know, take from other things, but like the words were very, very cheesy love songs. I mean, I think
nothing wrong with that.
if you talk to my grandmother, she says all the time, she's like, I have a love song that you wrote me. And it's like, yeah, I wrote my grandma a love song, like stuff like that.
There you go.
But I mean, then the older I got, the more like complicated, and I wanted to start exploring like, and I still do this to this day. Like, I don't like to write love songs that it's like, I love you so much. It's like, I like to write about the complicated parts of love, and I always have. Like, I have actually
sounds so 80s. I love it.
it's true. Like, I have a composition book from when I was 8 years old, and I know because my mom used to write on it, age 8. And 2000.
Someone
whatever.
was documenting. For
yeah,
you.
it's true.
Yes.
So I have one that's like, it talks about like when you're feeling tired and weak, and like the things that get you through it. And I was 8. Like, still to this day, I'm like, I don't think normal 8-year-olds feel that way, but it's like, this is what love can do. But this is how you like persevere through it. And like to this day, I still like to write like about the weird parts, the arguments, the choices, like all that kind of stuff. And it's
the drama.
Yes. The saucy parts. You know, it's
exactly.
That's
what everyone
it's
at least
intriguing.
looks at.
Right?
Everything's going great. No one cares.
Right. Exactly.
Seriously. I just want to see something burn. I don't know. That's people are. Yeah.
It's true though. It makes good content.
It is. They have all that clickbaity stuff out there all the time. Except me. I probably should start that. Maybe I get a few more subscribers. But you know.
We write about more than love too. We've actually gotten that comment before where they're like, you guys don't write about love songs. Like, no, we do. They don't always sound like it. Or like we
sound like Walking Phoenix.
Yeah, they sound like Walking Phoenix. No, like we definitely write that kind of stuff, but there's so many other inspirations out there. It's like, I don't want to be that next band that just writes love songs. I mean, we could be.
Yeah. Well, the subject matter could get tiring, I would assume. It really would. But let's go back, and in school, did you do anything in there? Because I'm a music educator myself, so I'm always interested in like your music education path, if you even went that direction, or you just skated around it the entire time, which is fair game too. So there's a lot of good musicians out there that had nothing to do with what was going on in school, at least music-wise.
That was me.
That was you?
Yep. I mean, I went to so many schools. I always wanted to play an instrument so bad, but when you move around so much,
that's what I kept thinking.
Yeah, you can't. So like, I couldn't be a part of choir, or I take it back. I could be a part of choir, but I couldn't be a part of band or orchestra. And like, I always wanted to play the flute growing up, and I have no idea why. But that was like my goal.
Interesting, yeah.
But yeah, like I didn't have one, so I couldn't actually like rent one from the school because I would move away. And they're expensive, so like
they tend to be.
Yeah, I wasn't able to be in any of that stuff. I still continued on like with vocal lessons at home, but I hated choral music. I did. My mom like.
I'm laughing at the idea.
It's just true.
I love singing, but that choral music, man.
I don't know what it was. It was just boring. I mean, I like things that are. Yeah, I like things that are like
it's
dynamic as far and like have personality in it. My mom raised me on like, obviously other than like the neo stuff like that, but like it was like Sublime, Red Hot, Fugazi, Social Distortion, like Rage Against the Machine stuff. And then my dad was a Deadhead, so like loved Pink Floyd, Grateful Dead, all that kind of stuff. And then obviously you get your radio stuff, but it was more rock based. Yeah.
Very, very nice.
So
very nice.
yeah.
I think we need to break into one of your songs that we got going here. I just want to hear what's going on. Here's my deal. Every time I bring someone in, is I do the least amount of prep on the person themselves, just so I get to know you along with everyone else out there. That's at least that's my theory. I don't know if it works or not, but like he sent me a whole bunch of stuff. We got a whole bunch of photos. We got a whole bunch of music, and I have listened to zero of it. So let's get into it. I'm getting very, very curious on what all that is. So let's find it here. And we'll have to look at a picture of it as we listen to it. So which one do you want to start with first? We got Peace of Mind, For American Dreams, Shatter, Birthday. Birthday? Is that like Happy Birthday?
Birthday's a party song on stage. It's not off stage.
Okay. And then we got Purple Car.
Yeah,
so we're definitely going around here.
Peace of Mind is about that's our newest one. We did that with a collaboration with Catwalk in the Cities.
Oh, okay.
So it's our first collaborative piece. It was really fun. It's honestly probably the most proud we've ever been of a track, though.
Should we check that one out first, or
Sure.
you got something else?
No, that's fine with me.
All right, let's do it.
As we drive by our homes from when we were kids, it's getting old, it's getting cold as the wind takes a sharp bite. Oh, there's nowhere else left to go. As well as goodbye. I promise that the sweaters run dry. I'll be the one to still the sun when you can handle the night. Handle the night. And I know you don't want me to hold you when you're feeling down. And I know you're screaming in your head when you don't make a sound. I spend all my days trying to find a way to fight the war you're waging inside. Hope it gives you peace of mind.
It isn't wrong, it isn't right if you like to be near me. I'm just a little stuck in my head. Yes, I'm aware that you care and you like to do the good thing, but nothing now is quite as it seems. Say I appreciate everything that you're doing, though I come off so bitter and cold.
I'll be the fire, I'll be the flame when you get lost in the snow. Wherever you go, yes I know you don't want me to hold you when you're feeling down. And I know you're screaming in your head when you don't make a sound. I spend all my days trying to find a way to fight the war you're waging inside. know. You're screaming in your head when you don't make a sound. I spend all my days trying to find a way to fight the war you're waging inside.
Yeah. Nice. That has real vocal control on that, man.
That's
I'm sitting here, I'm piecing everything together just by eras. You can hear the 70s coming through. You're definitely Y2K, at least vocal stylings, and then the guitar work was definitely late 80s. It's just a lot of great stuff, and it just really works together. That was extremely, extremely nice.
That's our little power ballad.
That worked. I mean, there's a lot of ups and downs. Who does your structuring for you while you're writing it? Is that you, or is that...
This song was mostly me.
Okay.
Yeah, this song I came with a fairly complete idea. I think it's because like it was a concept that meant a lot to me. So I mean, the story behind the song is like when you're, and it's not just necessarily like a romantic relationship, but when you're in a relationship, whether it's friends or family or anybody, with somebody who's struggling with grief or somebody who has like lost somebody, everybody handles grief in a different way. And that's kind of what the whole song is about. And especially in like the chorus, it's like, and I know you don't want me to hold you when you're feeling down. And I know you're screaming in your head when you don't make a sound. It's like everybody, some people want to be hugged and some people don't want to be touched. And some people want to like cry it out and like, you know, tell you all about it. And some people just bottle it all in. Like it's about the differences and how people handle that. And yeah, that's what that song is about. So
very, very, very cool. You ever met John Huber yet?
I have not.
Not from Shotgun Facelift?
I have not. I know Shotgun Facelift. I have not met him.
Okay. He is a very, very interesting fellow because basically he'll sit there and I had him on podcast probably a couple of years ago. I'm trying to get him back in, but they're busy, man. These guys are really busy.
They're getting huge.
So yeah, it's tough trying to pin him down. But he just goes into lyrics and just starts analyzing, and it just blows your hair back, the stuff he pulls out of it. It's just basically kind of what you're talking about right there. So but yeah. It's crazy. You need to talk with that guy. But let's try this. Let's pick out another tune. I'm going to put it in the background, and then let's go through your photos quick, because you realize we've been going for over 35 minutes already.
Oh wow.
Doesn't it go fast?
I guess I do like to talk.
It's fun. It's definitely fun. So which one do we want to do? I'm voting for Purple Car because
Let's do Purple Car.
Yep.
Let's
Just
do
because
it.
the name intrigues me, and I'm a car guy.
It's chill. It's about my brother. My brother had a purple Hot Wheels car.
Put it in drive, only 2 fingers on the steering wheel. Take a little time, or waste yours, maybe you can waste mine. Oh. Shaggy-haired boys screaming at the top of our lungs. Sit down, don't play coy. I wanna be the one you place above. I just wanna take you out. I just wanna make you proud. Cruising in my purple car. We don't have to go that far. Put me on that pedestal. Want you to think that I'm kinda cool. Need to be a superstar. We don't have to go that far.
attention span thing or like learning what somebody else wrote it's a lot harder
Trying to
for
mimic
me.
what someone else does take a little bit of discipline
Oh,
to do
yeah.
it. Yeah.
It is incredibly. I respect anybody who can do covers because I'm terrible at it.
No, it was at a point where I was older because I spent a lot of time on your side of the train tracks, working up music, getting stuff going on, promotion, all that other fun things. Spent a ton of money on doing all that, and get some success, but and then you get married and you find out that, well, I'm not gonna get into that, but. A lot of things weren't going to be happening after that point. We'll just say that. And then it got to a point where it was just like, I want to go back and play some music. And then you get into a cover band, and you're like, you get paid for this stuff?
Yeah.
You
That
get
is
paid
true.
fairly well? I'm like, what's going on? Okay. So that was me into my cover band thing. So if I ever get back into original stuff, it'll just be for fun in the basement. I know that. And I'm too old to market myself anyway. So
Oh, I don't think so.
oh, God. You'd be surprised. You go from gross to creepy. That's basically what it ends up being. You'll get there too at some age.
We went and saw Greta Van Fleet, and they pulled on Robert Finley for their opener.
Yeah.
I had never know. I had no idea who Robert Finley was, and dude,
That's why they opened you.
that guy, he was like an 80-year-old blues rockin' dude. That guy was probably my favorite part of the entire show, other than Greta Van Fleet.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
He was old, playing original stuff, and that was awesome.
But see, you're looking at with musician eye.
Maybe. I don't know. All of the Fargo Dome was going crazy for this man.
All right.
I mean, he was like old and blind and like grinding on the like mic pole, low. But I mean, he had some gall, but
Hey, it's what it takes. Wise man once told me is that you don't need to be. Well, I'm not saying that he isn't good. You don't need to be good. You just need to be entertaining.
that's fair.
So, and if you're good and entertaining at the same time, well, there's a match made in
There
heaven.
you go. That
Right
is
there.
true.
All right, and this is your guitar player,
Yeah, that's Evan.
the guy
Always wearing
with
a hat.
the tasty guitar solos, loving it. Now, this is still the 7th Street.
Yep.
Okay.
That's myself and Tor. Yeah, that was honestly one of the coolest shows we've ever played. And our sound guy was just on point all night too.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
All I remember from there is that we had, this is again dating myself, PVSP4. If you have any idea what that is.
Okay. Yep.
Yep. Okay. That was my monitor at the 7th Street entry. I could not hear out of the left side of my head.
Just massive.
Oh, jeez. And we're not afraid to use it.
That is at Fargo Brewing. We just headlined Fargo Brewing not last weekend, but the weekend before for the first time.
Nice.
So that was our like our first headline event for Jade. Jade Presents in town here, and that was
And as you should.
killer. That was so much fun. Brand new drum kit. And that's from Fargo Brewing as well.
Okay.
So
Probably from your Fargo Brewing.
yeah,
And then back to you.
Yeah.
What? Is that all I got? Oh, I thought I had more.
that's okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
There we go.
That is plenty of us.
But here's where we're going to go with this. I got to get to the weekly report here, and I'm going to ask you this question and let you think about it for a little bit here. Is that, you're all inspired and doing all this new music stuff. It's just, where do you think this is going to end up? What's your key roles and where? I don't know. Way too many questions. We're going to take that one back. Just basically, what is the exit strategies, if you know what I'm talking about there? It's like, how far do you think you're going to take this? Where do you want to take it? And don't just say, I hope it goes someplace, because that's what everyone says, and that's not how business works, actually. So I learned that very hard long ago. But I'll let you think about that as we get to the weekly report here. So
All right.
see you, we miss you. Mike Swenson and Brian Gray on Thursday. Throw out phones. happening brunch and something else going on? And Cowboy Jack's Jay Stevens. Company and Mike Morris at the Silver. South Dakota now, but now he's back in town. At least for the weekly report here. So, Jaeden, what is the exit strategy? What's the end result that you are going to strive for and achieve? I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
Just to add the pressure.
You know, we just hope you know.
Because I hear that all the time.
No, I think
See how far it goes. And,
Right.
well, that means nothing. Is you have no goals in mind. You're just hoping that something sticks against the wall. And, well, yeah, granted, everything you throw against the wall might stick or might not. But when are you going to
Exactly.
stop throwing stuff against the wall?
I think, this is like something that we started with an end goal in mind.
Excellent.
I mean, we had all been in bands before, and every band is a little bit different. I started out playing metal music.
We all.
And then I was playing singer-songwriter stuff for years, and then Evan was in Sons of Mars, so he was in a blues band and still is. I mean, they still do stuff and whatnot. I think what we all kind of decided though is we can have passion projects and stuff and do things on the outside of this, but when it comes to what we want to do, Walking Phoenix is the career band.
Gotcha.
So our goal is to we're going to focus on our originals. We're going to focus on everything that we put out is going to be super professional and super tight. I mean, making sure that from our posters to recordings to photography, it's all going to look like we're
Somebody
not.
cares. Yes.
Yeah, we don't want people to look at us or hear us and be yeah, they sound like a band from my hometown. We want people to hear us and be there's no way this is a local band. Now it's kind of our goal. I would say for end
And
goal
it's
is
working. At least what I've heard.
I mean, that's just kind of the theme behind the entire group. And I mean, for the end result, I think we're all kind of realists. So we don't expect to be the next T Swift, you know, we don't want to I honestly, I don't want to be the next T Swift. I don't want that sort of I don't want that
Could
sort
you
of
imagine how much
expectation.
pressure, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Don't
All
get me
the
wrong.
time.
She is killing it right now. What was it 50 tour, 50 semis, I think, on her last tour.
Yeah, it's something like that.
I
But
was
here's the real crazy, the little thing that I'll throw out because I sell a lot of stuff online, whatever else, is that her Taylor Swift Taylor Swift album, the first one she put out, CD, going for $50 now.
Oh goodness.
Just the CD. So if you find that out in the thrift store for 99 cents, there you go. You're welcome.
That's crazy. But I mean, like,
$50.
like that's cool. But at like the same point, like we also are a small. We also I saw a thing on there saying that I'm super quiet, and I probably am. I think
Y'all super quiet. Oh man, see where were you earlier? There we
all
go.
right.
Crank that back up.
I was like, I just glanced at the corner of my eye. No, I think
Thanks, Jeremy.
we are a small town band. So like we do want to still maintain to our like roots, and like we want to make sure that we're tangible. But like I think our goal is just to be able to live off of it. We want to be able to make our income off of it. I want to live comfortably. Like I don't need to make millions upon millions of dollars. I just want to be able to like play my shows and like write music and do some session work and do that stuff and be able to like not have to do anything else is my goal.
Perfect.
So
yeah,
and I think
like that.
I think all of us can kind of attest to that too, because no one's looking for like, we want some recognition for like what we've done, but we don't need fame. There's definitely a difference. So yeah.
But fame comes with it. You need to be the party. And that's just how it works. But you know, no, that's good. That is really good. So. With that, do you have like I ain't gonna get into the business stuff. We'll leave that for another time. I love talking, especially with the people with the original stuff, because when I always talked about back in the day when I was doing the original thing is that originals, sky's the limit. You can go wherever you want, as far as you want, as how high as you want. And when you're doing the cover side, obviously there's kind of a cap. I mean, you can push it to the point where you have the hairballs out there and everything else that they're pulling in how much a night.
Oh yeah.
And then like the regular bar bands are pulling in so much a night, but you kind of get capped though. But yeah, that was my whole big thing with the original idea. And we could talk original business until the day ends, but let's save that for another time. So we've been actually going on here for a good I know it's probably close to an hour. I lost my thing. Yeah, pretty close to an hour. And we still haven't gotten any juvenile destruction, right? For a little juvenile destruction there, Jaeden?
Sure.
All right. So I'll probably have to explain what's going on here.
A little bit.
So here's this week's Off the Roof. So these are recycled. I haven't been able to make any this summer yet. So I just grab them randomly off the hard drive. And I think I know what this is now. It took me a bit. It's an easy bake oven. Didn't do anything. That was perfect name too. You're hired. So that's what happens when you give a drummer a computer and some extra free time with a couple GoPros. Yeah, he ends up throwing stuff off the roof just to watch it explode.
Nice.
But here's what happened, Jaeden, is that I've grown up in this house. I bought it for my dad a million years ago. There's a ton of music that's been played in this room itself. And, well, the raging parties do happen occasionally. Well, okay. And, what will happen is inevitably someone would get on the roof and be throwing random electronics off just to watch it explode on the driveway because it's the 90s. That's what we did, man. We didn't have fancy cell phones. That's what we did. So, just keeping the tradition alive, throwing stuff off the roof, watching it explode on the driveway. So if you have anything you want to see broken online or from here, throw it in my yard. Let me know. We'll come pick it up. If you got any ideas out there of stuff to break, I got a list of things that I want to get done before fall hits, but I still got a lot of cleaning and a lot of other things to do. There isn't enough time in the day anymore, Jaeden.
Nope.
Because I still think that the older you get, time just starts moving faster. I think that's what happens.
Yep.
Some kind of time warp thing that's going on here. But that's what Off the Roof is. Yeah. So that's what we're doing there. Yeah.
Nice.
So you got any last things you want to say? Any shout-outs? Any
Oh man.
things that are coming up here?
I guess for shows coming up, we're playing at the Levitt at the Falls with
Nice.
with Fox Royale. It's like a little summer festival series they do in Sioux Falls.
Sweet.
So that's next Saturday, and then speaking
Back to a
of
hometown.
a hometown, one of several. And then speaking of Sunday gigs, we're playing on it's at Duffy's in Lincoln, Nebraska on a Sunday.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we have that coming the day after Levitt.
You played there before then?
We have not.
Okay. Breaking
It's-
into some new territory.
Yeah,
Cool.
it was kind of interesting with our Fargo Brewing show. We did sign a clause, saying we can't play within town for a certain amount of time. Which like at first, like you look at it and you're like, oh, that's difficult. But like from a business standpoint, like very, very smart.
Exactly.
Very smart.
Yep. They know what they're doing. Over
As a band standpoint, we're like, okay, well, I mean, what do we do? But like it's pushed us to like play the 7th Street gig. Go. We just played Chicago at Real Burlington Bar. We played the Mousetrap in Eau Claire. Like
Nice.
it's forcing us to get out. It's been really cool. So
I love this.
No.
I love this so much.
come and see us live. Shout
Yes.
out to my band because they're awesome. Like thank you to my wife who takes almost all of our photos. So
There we go. So when's the next time you're going to be in town then?
oh goodness, I don't think we have anything set up at the moment.
Okay.
We can't play till like October. So
That's fine.
it's gonna be a little bit. I know Tor and I are playing on Sunday, but just like Tor and I have like a little duo acoustic project called Northern Sun. So,
Fun.
yeah, so I mean, you come see us at Fargo Brewing for the Mini Makers Market on Sunday.
Oh, you're doing that. Okay.
Yeah,
I was
so-
looking for who was going to be playing there, and they didn't have anything written.
Yeah.
So I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, playing 1 to 2:30.
There
So-
we go. Yeah, I was there with Keaton Will a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
They're jamming out. That was fun.
oh, Keaton's crazy.
Yes. Love that guy. All right. So let's get some shout outs to the band and everything else. Where can they find you?
They can find us on all social medias and whatnot. Walkingphoenixoffical.com as well. We've got links to everything on there, including our music, all of our socials, music videos, YouTube. Yeah, it should all be on there. I hope so. I do manage it.
Very, very good. And I'll make sure that I get all that stuff in links down below, which I haven't done yet. That's my fault. I'm getting in too many. I like putting my fingers in every single pie at one time and then just seeing, how much I can pull along. And that's a very bad visual, but it's basically how it ends up, though. It's like just gross and all that. And you can find us all on the Tiki Tacks, up into the Instagrams, all other fun stuff at the Uptown Tonight Podcast, or else you can find us at Uptown Band Fargo. We're Uptown. We're a band from Fargo.com. And that'll give you everything that has to do with the band and or the podcast. And again, if you have any ideas of stuff to throw off the roof, or if you have you want to be a guest, or you have an idea of someone who'd be a great guest on here, let me know. You can definitely find us at Uptown Tonight Podcast at Gmail or everything else. Or on all the Instagrams and stuff. So, you got to remember, Jaeden, if your drummer has more charisma than your front man, band may be in trouble.
Yep.
But that's why my band's doing just fine. So, until next time.
Hey, just a